was a decision that my wife and I made a while ago. Originally we came to the US and I started working for AXSTV in 2009. That's the year they signed me after doing, K1 for a few years and stuff like that. That was beamed on Access, but I wasn't actually signed to them. So they signed me in 2009, and I was traveling back and forth from Australia every 10 days to 2 weeks, which was crazy for about a year and a half or so, and took its toll. And we decided to move over here to Las Vegas in 2011. And originally it was just going to be for 3 years. I said to my wife, like, listen, we'll do it for 3 years, then we'll go back to Australia. And 3 years became another contract renewal, renewal. And, we've been out here for almost 7 years. And we decided time has come to go home. We had our first son was born here in Las Vegas. So, he's a little American Australian. He's got both citizenship. And with a second one on the way, due in July, decided that it's time to go home and raise the family in Australia, and that's where all the family are and all the friends are. And for anyone out there listening, you know how hard it can be when you're away from family and away from your friends and what that sort of system to be able to raise children. And our utmost priority is the happiness and the joy and the well-being of our kids, and also for me it's my happiness, and I'm happy here, but also my wife's happiness too. And it's just time to go home back to Australia. Vegas has been home for many years, but Australia is always your spiritual home. It's where you're from. There's nothing quite like home. I think leaving Pat will be the saddest thing for me as far as Access TV goes. Pat and I have been working together for many years now, and I believe we form the best combination in mixed martial arts. I really do. I think that the chemistry Pat and I have developed, it is legit. We bounce off each other, and from what we started out when we didn't know each other, when we started out and they basically threw us together, to what we are now, and the way we can just have that rapport with each other and bounce off each other. I don't think there's anyone else that quite has that chemistry that can do that. I've worked with many color commentators over the years, and Pat's the best. There's no one better at dissecting the game, the fight game. Whether we're commentating Muay Thai, whether we're commentating MMA, whatever it may be, there's no one better at able to communicate that to both the layman and the expert. And, I'll miss that. I'll miss hanging out with him on the road and the discussions we have and the road trips we have. And it's been great having Ron on the road as well and getting to know Ron a whole lot better. And he's become a vital part of the Access TV team, doing the ringside reporting, which is something that Pat and I wanted for years, and finally we have. And I'll miss the crew. Those are the guys that really make those broadcasts happen every Friday night. They're not the names you see or you hear, but they're names that are Jason Vaughan, our EP, who took over from the late Daryl Ewalt. Daryl passed away last year, which was a huge blow to Access TV, and anyone in the industry who knew Daryl knew that he's the man. He was the captain of the ship. He steered us through every rough sea and always found land. Now Jason Vaughan has taken over from that. Jamie McClintock, who after we had a couple of producers leave, is a young guy. He's in his mid-20s, given the chance to step up to the plate, and he's done a fantastic job. He's knocked it out of the park. He's probably the youngest sports producer in the USA, and he's absolutely kicking butt. He's fantastic. Josh Harper, another one, is on the road with us every week. Every time you see a slow-mo or a replay on Access TV, and every time we come back from break and there's a replays package, that's a guy called Josh Harper sitting there, and he does the Super Bowl and he does the NBA, but he also does our shows every Friday night. These guys here are the guts, they're the heart of the team, and I'm going to miss hanging with those guys, because you won't find a better production team doing it the way they do it. And, admittedly, they don't have a budget of an NBC or a TBS or a Fox Sports. They don't have it. But every Friday night, they're producing amazing quality content and amazing production for a shoestring budget that they operate on. And they take it in their stride and they knock it out of the park.